All right, let's do
this. The big two or doing all right?
Okay. Have anything? Sure, it's gonna clip them. All right, guys, it's been a while. Welcome back on the block. Igor Henriquez, Lamar Grant, Joe Rafari. Christmas time. So we're going to do the Christmas games. We'll get to that in the second half. First, we're going to talk about the first half of the season and what it's been so far, our disappointments and surprises. We'll start off at home with the Raptors. Surprisingly, first of all, Lamar did see the LeBron James dunk where his head got above the rim, but he still doesn't care. He doesn't care. Nothing's going to impress him.
I made sure I brought that up early.
But we will start with the Raptors, and surprisingly, you like the way they're playing.
I love the way they're playing. I like their bench. They hustle. Larry still takes a little. Sometimes he'll take ill-advised shots, but he's not as bad as he was in the past 2-3 years that I've been saying that I hate the way they play. I just really like them, and it's a bunch of basically no-name rookie young kids that are playing really hard off the bench. I really like the way they're playing.
Which rookie you like the most so far? Or young guy?
OG's gotta be. I know he likes OG.
Yeah. What's his name?
Pirtle? I like Pirtle a lot. I know you don't.
It was the Asian one. The one that wears the
Pascal Siakam?
Yeah, OG and Pascal Siakam and Poto, and there's Delon Wright. He just came
He's
back.
the more thicker one. There's a skinnier one and a thicker one.
Yeah, OG is the starter.
Yeah, he's the one. He's starting now.
Yeah, three.
I like him.
OG can shoot. OG's a good defender.
Yeah.
OG's actually. I like OG better than Pirtle, to be honest. But Pirtle, I gotta give Pirtle credit.
A lot of props.
He's been efficient when he actually gets minutes. Again, he's not going to be any type of home run draft pick.
He's the best rebounder on the team.
Well, fair enough. I'll give him that. Like I said, I had higher hopes for that pick, but he's proving to be a decent pick.
Very decent.
That's the best I can do.
Very decent.
I think he's not. I just like everything every one of them are doing.
CJ Miles has been a real nice comeback.
Nice pick up the bench.
He's the one. I don't not like him, but he's the one I thought would be doing more. But I don't hate him.
I think it's just more so that Casey hasn't given him as many minutes as I thought he would have got, and maybe that's because of OG playing well, and he wasn't supposed to come back until January. But CJ Miles, when he's come in, he just catches fire and he just shoots it.
But you got to run plays for a 3-point shooter like that. It feels like he has to just get his on his own, and he's not that clear. That's what Cleveland's doing with Corbett. They're setting up good threes for him, and he's going crazy.
The Raptors in the regular season, this isn't a huge surprise. It's when it hits playoff time, then we'll see what they do and how they excel. There's a lot of teams in the East that are doing a lot better than what we thought they were going to be doing. A lot of teams that are doing a lot worse than we were doing. The Raptors are probably exceeding expectations by a tad.
They're 20-8.
20-8.
And I think that's better than people thought that they were going to be.
I thought they were going to be a 45-win team around there.
I never go by their record
Because
I thought records and stuff to me.
Yeah.
I like the way they're playing, so we'll see what happens.
Like I said, third in the East, second in the Atlantic. It's 20-8. Pirtle, I want to talk about. I love his game. I think that he's been a big part of the success when the starters come out and he goes in with those rookies. And usually it's Kyle will stay in, but sometimes now they've played Van Vliet and DeLong before DeLong got hurt to try and do that again. And Kyle, I think that Kyle's not jacking as many shots as he used to. Mm-hmm. He's getting more triple doubles. Maybe they're letting him. Last game or 2 games ago, he had the triple double. We didn't watch him last game against the Kings yet, but he's playing better. Everybody's playing more team-oriented basketball. Mm-hmm. They're taking more 3-point shots. They're not making them all, but that's leading to other opportunities. Maybe like with the offensive rebounds and everything. And everybody's shooting a 3. Even we saw JV shoot them. We don't know why, but he is. Any last thoughts on the Raptors?
Well, again, the whole rebounding with Lowry, I think you mentioned to me about that whole
under 6'1",
under 6'1" stat that they're going. You know what? He looks like he's giving me a better effort. I think his conditioning at the beginning of the year was a little bit off, but seems to be having a pretty decent season. At the beginning, a lot of his comments that he made about how he would have enjoyed going to San Antonio, that kind of
he said that I didn't even
drew
hear
my
that.
eye a little bit. Yeah, he was like, I wouldn't have minded playing for San Antonio, and so let's be honest, the Spurs didn't really want him. To
Nobody
be honest,
wanted him.
to be honest,
I don't know if
I don't even know how much interest there was in the offseason with Kyle. He's doing all right. I mean, I wasn't that happy with that contract, but so far he's owning up to it.
Yeah,
So
it's a short deal.
It's a short deal.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot. It's $100 million.
Him and Ibaka, who's played much better recently. The first 20 games or whatever, he was atrocious. The games where he'd get 8 points, 10 points, it looked really bad. He didn't play the last game. They need something from him if they want to do anything in the playoffs. But like you said, and like you always say, although the style of play is a lot better, we can't judge his team until the playoffs come. But like I said, they look better. But even that being said, are they going to beat Cleveland? Probably not. Boston, they may have a shot, although Boston to me has looked better than I thought they were going to be, and they still don't have Gordon Hayward. But you go in the playoffs, you're going to play Milwaukee, you're going to play Washington, Chicago, Cleveland, or whoever.
I think they're better equipped for the playoffs though, because like he mentioned with the rookies, the way that the rookies are playing, I can see like a guy like OG being like a lockdown defender in the playoffs. They're better equipped to go on a longer playoff run like they did a couple of years ago.
Yeah, no more Patrick Patterson and guys like that, DeMarre Carroll.
Exactly.
I think the only two teams they can't really beat is Cleveland and Boston. Before, I would think any team in the playoffs. I'm saying that they could. Yeah, the way that they're playing, like Ibaka getting 8 points to me, the way that this team's playing, to me is not a letdown. The way that they were playing before, like he's not doing anything, but they're so spread out. As long as you're playing defense and doing what you're supposed to do, I don't care if Ibaka has 8.
Why gonna got the 6 on the way?
Nah, I ain't doing that yet.
Wait till playoffs come. They won one round. Lamar's gonna have that.
I think good basketball. If they're playing good basketball, I'll support and watch.
All right. In the East, we have Detroit. That's been a bit surprising. Milwaukee, we thought they might be a little bit better, but they're still in the playoff spot. Orlando got off to that incredible start. I don't think they've won a game since. They've been really bad. Miami's been a letdown. They had a lot of new pieces come in. Maybe they get it together for the second half. Anybody else in the East you guys wanted to touch on? Cleveland started off terrible, then they won, I believe, 15 of 17 or something.
I think Cleveland, I think Isaiah Thomas is supposed to be back in the second week of January or close to. That'll be an interesting aspect to see how he gels with them. As you can see, like the OKC guys are having some issues with that. I've been pretty impressed with the Knicks, actually, in terms of, you know what, maybe they're pretty, I think 16 and 11 or 15 and 11. I thought they'd be a train wreck, but it looks like without Carmelo, they're moving the ball a lot better, playing a lot harder. And funny enough, like all those teams that Paul George and Carmelo, Oklahoma seems to be struggling. They're doing much better without them, which I don't think anybody really would have predicted. But yeah, I guess we'll touch on that one when we talk about OKC. But I think the Knicks deserve some credit. I think Porzingis might be out for a while, which probably hinders that a little bit.
Back last game? I was kind of confused. I know they beat OKC last game. I didn't see if he played or not. I thought he did. But regardless, they're playing much better. But we can go. Okay, well, let's touch on Indiana for a second because Oladipo, by the way, we have to talk about Oladipo. How can we not? Well, I saw him when he came here. I want to say 41 or something like that when he played the Raptors in a loss. But you know what? That guy, I don't want to say complete player, but he's doing everything on the court.
When he was a rookie, because every time me and my guys will get together and say who's going to be the best rookie, and he was my guy, and I can't believe how much he dropped off. And he's been on. This is his 4th year. He's been on 4 teams.
No, Orlando for 2.5, and then OKC and now Indiana.
Yes.
Okay, 3. Yeah. So in what 4 years?
I want to say this is his 5th year because you got the max extension last year.
So 3 cities in 5 years, and as talented as I thought he was in the rookie, I couldn't believe it. When he went to OKC, I told everyone, "This is it." Everyone's like, "No, he's done." I'm like, "This is it." And when he went down, when he didn't play well in OKC, I was like, "He's finished." I think a
lot of people did.
What he's doing
everybody thought that the Paul George trade was a joke in terms of what they got for him. But if you look at it, I mean, it's a clear win for Indiana. It's not even close.
I think that
even Sabonis is doing pretty well. He's 12 and 7 or something like that.
They did the points per game for Paul George, and then with Oladipo and what was his name? Sorry,
Sabonis.
Sabonis. I was going to say Montius. And both those, I think that they're plus 13 points per game with just those guys. And apparently that's how GMs value trades these days. It's the points per game that's swapped. And Paul George, I think he's leading the league in steals. But like you said, Carmelo Anthony's gone from New York. They got younger. They're playing much better. They're moving the ball. Indiana, they got rid of their superstar. They're playing much better. They're younger. They're moving the ball. So all these ball stoppers that we're seeing when they leave their cities, people still think that big name and, you lost this trade. What do we get for Melo? Cantor and the guy from Creighton, I can't remember his Buckets, whatever his name is. But McDermott. And everybody laughed at that trade the same way that they laughed at Indiana. But both those teams won those deals in the landslide. You shed that salary, you get younger, and look at how good they're doing.
I don't think that the people in New York were that mad about that deal in terms of, Carmelo, his reputation had gone down quite a bit. So I think people in Indiana were probably more agitated because it was more of a shocker in terms of how that went down. I think they wanted Melo out for a long, long time. I mean, Phil Jackson.
I don't know if the city did though. The team may have wanted to, but
I think
the city still loved Melo.
I think the city, at the end of the day, they weren't winning with Melo. They needed to get a rebuild going.
And now they give the keys to Porzingis, and look what's happened, right?
And I always looked at the rookie. I like the way. You'd appreciate it. I like the way the rookie came up to LeBron when LeBron was talking trash about him. And
Ntilikina.
Yeah, so again, they're a lot. You can tell they're more in your face. They're playing a lot of heart. Yeah.
Any other teams in the East you guys want to touch on before we transition?
Well, you mentioned Detroit.
Florida, Washington, the Florida teams.
Washington's been a bit of a disappointment.
Wall's been out for a while. He comes in and knows his lineup a lot.
But even when he's there, they're just not doing what I thought they would do.
Yeah, go on.
They're just not. They're not like. Man, they're just not. They're good enough, and they'll show spurts and get arrogant, and then they'll talk into the best backcourt, and they'll do all these things, and then they'll just completely fade. They'll have a big game and beat Cleveland in overtime by 10 and start going crazy, and then go the next game and lose to Orlando. Like I can't trust them.
Very inconsistent.
I can't trust them.
Yeah, the situation with the Bucks and with acquiring Bledsoe, I thought that was a really good move, but it also throws Brogdon back to the bench, and I don't know. I guess it all depends on chemistry. I like Bledsoe. I think Bledsoe's a really good player, but I don't know. It's been mixed results.
I think they got better defensively, and at least now Brogdon can play. They can play together for spurts as well, and just buy some time for each other. But I want to talk about the Wizards, like you said, real quick. I like Brad Beal. I've talked to Zane about him a bunch, and he's a solid player. Not like average defensively, but obviously can shoot the ball better, just as good as anybody. John Wall, I feel like he passes the eye test because he's so athletic, he's so fast, he jumps so high, he dunks on people. He still can't shoot. And people, Parker's throwing numbers at me. Check out his percentage. Watch the game. I don't want to hear numbers. And you can say the same thing about OG Anunoby. I love the guy and he's young, but just a comparison. When you're shooting corner threes in a wide open, because guys don't have to guard you, you'll have a higher percentage. You're going shot really well. When you're Steph Curry, when you're Brad Beal, you're shooting, people are coming out, they're closing out on you, their hands out. That's a different shot than being wide open in the corner. Yeah. So when I see John Wall, his three-point percentage, it might be 36%. I don't care, because any team in the playoffs that plays him tight or stays back and says, okay, shoot the ball, he's not hitting any shots. Now, like I said, all defensive team, for sure, one of the best defenders in the position. Can he set guys up? One of the best passers in the league. Are you going to win anything with him? To me, the answer is no. You're not winning a title with him as long as you have guys like Curry, LeBron, those guys in the league. Maybe they'll be like the Raptors, get to a conference championship and flutter. But John Wall will not get to that next level, and I'm saying like a top 3-point guard in the league, until he can hit 3-pointers consistently, not being great. At least like just above league average if he wants to be a superstar and get all his hype that he deserves.
But the only reason I don't agree with that is because Lowry is scoring less, and I feel they're doing better. It doesn't have to come with him scoring 30. It has to do with him when they need that big bucket, which doesn't have to be a 3, because Beal can shoot 3s the other people, to be able to make that big play if you're that big guy. And
But you think he is?
No, I'm saying that. What I'm saying, you're saying that if he has to shoot 3 and do what Curry does and completely, you don't have to.
He doesn't take over the game, is what I'm saying. And if he does, it's on his athleticism. And then when you collapse in the paint as a defense, what's he doing?
But you can take over a game without scoring a point.
But have you seen him win games in the fourth quarter? I haven't seen too much of it. He's not a guy where you look like Klay Thompson, even DeMar DeRozan. Beal's done it multiple times when Wall was out. There's guys in the league. In the fourth. I'm not his biggest fan. I respect the hell of it.
Me too. Yeah, you would say that like we were gonna lose and DeRozan got us the win in the fourth quarter.
He hits a lot of clutch shots.
He hits a lot.
I can't picture him. I don't remember any game where it's like he took over. I know games where he got hot and scored, but I mean like we were going to lose and he willed us to the win with the jaws in the feet by taking over against a team that was superior to us. I haven't seen.
Okay, well that's.
So your theory has me thinking this whole situation. Well, I hate to go back to LeBron.
Yeah.
But the whole LeBron going to LA thing, a lot of that is because he's thinking they got Lonzo there and they got to bring Paul George. But if you look at that, based off of what you're saying, because Lonzo can't shoot worth a lick, he's going to be in a much worse situation because he won't have the ball in his hands for that much. Well, LeBron and Lonzo, in my opinion. That's why that whole situation about him going to the Lakers doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Well, that was the ball in your hand is the same for Chris Paul and Harden too, which we'll touch on soon.
Because Lonzo can't shoot with a leg, and his best attribute is that he can set the vision, sets guys up. But he's not a very good shooter. He's much worse than even Wall.
Yeah, but I don't think you can compare him to John Wall. I think anybody thinks he's going to be anything close to that. I don't. I've said multiple times. I don't think that he's going to be anything special. People are high on him. But anyways, let's get back to the John Wall thing. Let's just finish that up. I've seen guys like, even for example, Kemba Walker, who might be the most underrated player in the league. I take Kemba Walker. I don't know if I take him over him, but I'd rather give him the ball in the fourth quarter than John Wall.
Okay.
Right? And I think that people would have John Wall clearly ahead of Kemba.
No, but when you're saying that, you're thinking when you're thinking Walker and you're thinking
like
Wall,
he's cold-blooded.
in your mind, you're thinking cold-blooded scoring.
Yeah.
But there's other ways to stop, like a pin block from behind and
Of
things
course,
like that.
yeah. But how many guys that are top 10 in the league, top 15 players, even guys like Anthony Davis, DeMarcus Cousins, all your guys, all these guys are all players that when the clock's coming down, you give them the ball, you say go to work.
John Wall's
not a
closer.
But our definition of closing is different. I get what you guys are saying by closer. Do you guys think LeBron's a closer? Do you guys think LeBron's a closer? If you tell me yes, then we both have completely different views on what a closer is. Is LeBron a closer?
Over his whole career, no. But I'd say in the last year or so, he's thinking that.
But here's where I go. LeBron might not be a closer because again, he usually facilitates the shots that the different individuals.
That's a nice word to put it.
Facilitates. But you got to think that the teams still think that LeBron's more of a threat to do something, and then that because like he just said, a lot of teams don't really regard Wall as much of a shooter. LeBron is different. Does LeBron go through hot and cold stretches? For sure. He's a better shooter than Wall, and I think teams respect that more. And well, I'll give it to you that he doesn't take a lot of clutch shots. Teams feel that he may do it on any given day.
I know
that, you know what I mean?
I
don't think it's a reality.
No, I get what you're saying. I know what you're saying. But what I'm saying is with LeBron, which is what you're saying is true, but I want to make sure we stay on the right narrative with that is I know the most annoying diehard LeBron fans. And when it's time for the clutch, they're not thinking LeBron's going to pull up or make a play. They want him to dip his head and go in and get fouled. That's all they want. So
or crashing.
They want him to penetrate.
But teams aren't giving him open looks in the close.
No, I get that.
They definitely don't. They respect him enough that they don't do that. You know
but they're not. They would prefer him to.
They won't.
They dare him to shoot.
They dare him,
but not in like a Rondo humiliating way. They're not going to step up like how Kobe would step up.
Well, you watch a lot of basketball.
Yeah.
I know you do.
Yeah.
So for you to sit here and tell me that LeBron James has not taken a step forward as a shooter in the last year, you'd be lying to me.
Wait. Is that he's not a better shooter?
He's not a better shooter last year. Because something came up actually recently. We talked about this 2 years. It's been 2 years. The stat came out. LeBron James was, percentage-wise, the worst shooter in the NBA. And I remember we talked about that. We all agreed on it. We said that for a while. He was the worst shooter. And every time he shot outside the paint, he was at like maybe 30%. Right? Outside of the paint.
Like that, yeah.
Now, since then, I think at one point, he was the highest shooter in the league. Inside or outside of the paint.
Yeah.
Like field goal percentage.
Now,
of course, there's layups involved in that. But he's not DeAndre Jordan.
It's the same thing you said, but it's the way that you described Wall and saying that the eyeball test, I'm not letting his field goals fool me because when he's missing, they're calling foul.
No,
and when he's driving,
I'm not saying that he's Steph Curry at clutch, but all I'm saying is he's improved, and I'm not going to allow you to deny that because he has gotten better. He's not Miami League.
Can I say one thing? What he's done in this in the 17-game winning streak
is the last few years.
No,
last year and this year, but okay.
No, I don't think he's a good shooter last year. I'm saying that remember when him and Love and all those guys were shooting all those threes in the playoffs, and he said that they were as good shooting. Remember that? Yeah. But then but all that 3-point talk disappeared when they played. Exactly. So what I'm saying is what I told you guys that would disappear. They're beating up on teams. He's hot and he's hitting threes. Fine. What I'm saying is that LeBron is a basketball player that's been in the league over 15 years? 15 years that shoots probably 500 jump shots a game. I'm not saying he can't hit a three. No. I'm saying that he is not. Iverson is not a 3-point shooter, but Iverson can hit a three because he's a scorer. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that I don't respect LeBron as a scorer in any way, shape, or form. He can dunk and he can get foul calls. Now, we're not attacking LeBron. I'm just saying. No, but when you say the John Wall thing, you guys are almost making it look like LeBron's.
He's the LeBron of the point guard position.
But sometimes
he is. But sometimes attacking and can't shoot outside the paint for a top echelon point guard. Because I'm going to throw any point guard you want that's in that top point guard discussion. Damian Lillard, Steph Curry, Russell Westbrook.
No, those guys don't want to shoot that.
I think they're
Well,
better.
they're all better, way better. They're all
Westbrook
Westbrook,
threes.
He's a much better his 3-point percentage.
He jacks a lot.
He
jacks a lot, but but
he's better inside.
It's not even close.
Who do you think would win a 3-point contest between him and LeBron?
See, I thought they were going to make LeBron do that this year because his percentage is so high. Isn't that the talk that
He'd be so scared.
That he was actually going to do this. His percentage is actually one of the highest this year.
He doesn't like.
But
who would win a
here's the
3-point
thing.
percentage between Wall and LeBron?
No, who would win in a 3-point between Westbrook and LeBron?
Westbrook.
Okay,
Westbrook.
okay. It sounds like you guys would say LeBron.
But both those guys, both those guys would beat John Wall, in my opinion.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Even LeBron.
Yeah. But sometimes when you think of guys, you don't even think of them as specific shooters. Like I was looking at some stats on Vince. Vince is like a top 10 3-point maker in the league in history. Which I know he's
been a 3-point.
But when you think of Vince Carter, you don't think of him as the 3-point shooter.
3-point and dunks.
I think in the dunks, I never even thought that Vince was shooting that many threes. I know he can hit them, but I never thought about it.
As many, but
don't let me talk about him.
We'll get to the West. Anything else with the East you guys wanted to finish up on?
I would like to say, obviously they're garbage. What I want to say is that, just for the record, I want to make sure it's clear that I feel that Milwaukee and Miami are two teams that can get hot. I don't like if they don't get hot. I'm not saying they can just wake up in the playoffs. I'm not saying that. I'm saying in the last month and a half, if they start going on some vicious thing, then I see that happening.
Miami, I was big on them last year because they had the best record, I think, after the All-Star break. Didn't even get in the playoffs, which I thought they should have because they would have given LeBron.
Oh, yeah.
Never Cleveland sat there.
We're talking about Philly.
And they screwed them.
I'm talking about Philly. Philly's
yes.
Philly's been mediocre. I thought they'd be better. Again, the whole Embiid minutes and resting. He's actually very entertaining. I can see why he's such a.
I didn't bring my jersey. I forgot.
His personality is something that you can really get behind because sometimes he can be a troll, but you know what? He can ball, and hopefully again, if you like injuries and so forth, hopefully he plays a long time in the league because I've been liking what I've been seeing from Simmons. They haven't got much from Fultz.
He was hurt. We can't judge him until he plays.
But I don't know. Simmons this year has been pretty good. I can't disagree in terms of. I thought they'd be better record wise. I thought because I didn't think the East was going to have
a tough schedule.
As well. But we'll see again. Embiid healthy, man. I think he's definitely an all-star every year without question.
His personality got me to notice his game. I won't lie. I like the way he trash talks. I like the way he trash talks, and I like the way some people when they're talkers, and like Nick Young, like guys like that, you can see on the floor they're trying to play for the crowd.
Yeah.
Embiid doesn't look like that until he's like telling the crowd to what. Other than that,
Embiid reminds me of bigger Kevin Garnett in terms of his personality. But the way that he goes at people, he reminds me so much of Kevin Garnett.
But it's totally different because Kevin Garnett, to me, even if I was in the NBA, whatever, like. Kevin Garnett to guys and you were like, I'm not scared. I would have been scared of like a.
No, but Kevin was always
Ben Wallace. Like Ben Wallace would scare me. Kevin Garnett to me was, I hate to say, a fake tough guy. Like he's a good defensive player, but he's not. He would bark at people all the time. He'd bark at people. What would he do? He's not going to hurt you. Ben Wallace, I'd be scared of.
Kevin Garnett had no problem getting 3 games if he had to. I'm not saying he's going to fight you. No, but
Rasheed Wallace would scare me over Kevin Garnett. All those guys.
Rasheed was
but no one scared me. What I'm saying is that he is the one
that invented
he invented the when you shoot after the whistle, don't let them score. He invented that.
I've seen a bunch of those guys. One guy that scared me was Andrew Bynum. He was the only one, and because he was tall, he was like a freaking truck. He looked like if he grabbed you, he could put you into like a fine powder.
Yeah,
he was just a brick house.
One last thing about Embiid, I just want to say also is that what I really like about Embiid, and I'm telling you, like Garnett, he's a passionate player, so he just won't stop talking. What's his name? Draymond Green, he's passionate, but he doesn't know when to shut up. Cousins is passionate, but he can't control himself. Embiid is intelligent. He's in complete control of what he's doing. Like when he doesn't, like he's not one of those players. Like he'll like choke in someone's ear, get hit to the ground, and he won't like get up and say.
He's the trash talker. He's the trash talker for the millennials.
Yeah.
Because he uses all the social media platforms to do all that stuff. The older guys don't know how to do much of that.
But I like it because he talks on the court, he talks off the court. The best thing I've seen in a long time, honestly, and I watched that game. Shout out to Jamal for giving me the link. But when they played Detroit, remember Detroit? And Drummond started talking all that trash about each other. He said, okay, you can't even play back-to-back games. He literally fouled him out. And I never forgot, I never laughed so hard watching you in my life. He fouled him out, and when he stuck his knee out, and the ref blew the whistle, he blew him out, and B gets behind him. Drummond was like, and B's like, he did that like twice. And then everybody started laughing.
That wasn't a foul to me. But
Listen, he was slow moving his feet. It's a foul.
No, that wasn't a foul.
He has not defense.
That exact play you're talking about was a foul.
He attacked. He stuck his knee out. And
he's not going after bumps. He's been going after Whiteside. He's been going after the top.
Whiteside was another good story. And nobody can get on his level.
Like, I can picture Cousins, who's my favorite big guy. If he's trash talking someone, if that person hit him to the ground, he'd get up and want to fight.
Shout out Santa.
Yeah.
Cousins loses his mind too much.
And you know what? I'm going to put the clip inside right now. But what I wanted to say was DeMarcus Cousins last year, the first time he played him, because the first year was really last year. DeMarcus Cousins had that quote saying he has a bright future, pretty much, and he said the best center in the league after me is Joel Embiid. He said that last year. Now, my question to you guys, which I brought up to everybody in the On the Block chat that used to be here, who's better? Who is more skilled and better when healthy than Joel Embiid at the center position? Now, there's really okay. I was going to say the only thing, and the only problem I have with DeMarcus Cousins is he's not a winner. Until he wins anything, wins a playoff, he hasn't even been in the playoffs. He's been in the league forever. I don't want to care about what team he's been on. Great players get to the playoffs.
If Embiid doesn't leave, he ain't going nowhere either. And the most he'll do
He's
is
not
lose
in
the
the
playoffs. With the team he has,
He's too young for you to be talking that though.
that's fine, but that's not fair. But I'm not. If he's young, I'm not gonna say he's better than Cousins because Cousins had more years to lose. Embiid can continue losing too.
So I think that Embiid
Like I said, I think the Sixers window in the next couple of years will come as LeBron ages. The Celtics will probably be that team that'll be the bogey team, but I think the Sixers are they can stay healthy in a couple of years. They'll be.
That's what people said when Rudy Gay went to Sacramento. They're saying that they're building. They got Malcolm, what they were saying.
I think that higher level players though. I think Simmons can be pretty top notch.
That's the thing, and I've gotten better judging players in terms of their youth as well now. When you see, like, they've said that Ben Simmons is the best rookie to come in the league since they don't even really remember. Blake Griffin was the last rookie to make the All-Star team, and Simmons probably will make the All-Star team. But really, like, since LeBron, there hasn't been a rookie that's come in the league and done this.
Yeah, the problem is that
as much as you don't like LeBron, like, nobody's had this kind of impact on the game. Assists, rebounds, but like a real threat. And he can't shoot outside the paint either.
They blew a lot of high picks. You know, Noel's gone. They just traded
Noel, Okafor,
and Fultz is there. You don't know what you're getting in him. In fact, the Fultz thing might actually come back. Because if you look at some of the Boston guys have been pretty good. I've enjoyed watching them play. That might end up being a bad draft pick for them, but we'll see. A lot of the rookies that I like what Tatum is doing in Boston. A lot of those guys could have been helpful. I don't know how Fultz will be, but like all those guys.
I don't see superstar potential in Fultz. I don't. He's not a superstar.
Well,
he might be an all-star.
Superstar.
No, I know. I'm just saying, even based on the stuff that he did,
he played. He was the first
college stuff. Like when I saw it, I didn't see perennial all-star. I didn't see that.
He was on that garbage team in Washington. I know it was a terrible team.
Like I said, I watched him when the Raptors came, when Philly came here, and yeah, he was hurt, and there's been talk about his form, whether his shoulder did that or he did it himself. But he didn't look confident at all. Something's definitely up. That's why I don't want to judge him until he's actually healthy.
That's fair.
And we can tell, so I don't want to say that.
But can I say one thing about Simmons? The definition of impact to me, as opposed to what you guys are saying, is statistically. Like Carter Williams used to get like triple doubles.
No, I'm not saying.
Did he not?
He did, but I never brought that up.
Simmons, you can tell has this raw talent where I can see why they were comparing him to LeBron.
Yeah,
I don't think he'll get that level, but he's got like natural skills that when he owns it.
What game has he won for them? I don't mean stats where they won and he had good stats. Vince, he couldn't even shoot in his rookie year. Vince won games for them.
Different league though. Different position.
He's a point guard.
Different league.
But Simmons isn't a real.
He's not a scorer. He's not a scorer. He's still scoring 20 points.
There aren't guys that come up like Embiid might be a different story because he's been out of the league for a while and his physical gifts, but not a lot of rookies don't come in and completely dominate.
What rookies come in the league that he's looked at and said that's a fish?
What do you think by dominant? That's what I'm trying to understand.
To me,
it's over the game.
It's a natural game.
Lonzo Ball gets triple doubles, and he's by no means taking over.
So are you talking about Embiid or are you talking about Simmons?
Simmons.
Okay, so tell me what you mean that he's taking over.
Playmaking ability to blow by people without a jump shot, and just the ability to blow by people.
I can see why he went first overall.
And we're gonna say this on camera. You told me we were on the phone. What you didn't like about Simmons is you didn't like that he did not finish above the rim.
And he started to, and I said,
but even who cares? Who cares? Because you're saying he's soft because he's 6'8", not dunking.
Yeah, I'm saying that you're 6'8", and I was watching him get pinned by other people and getting blocked. Dunk the ball.
I didn't see him get pinned. His athleticism
I
is
was
pretty
just
high.
videos of him getting paid. That's fine.
His athleticism is pretty high.
Of course it is high. So why was he doing less when he could dunk? Now he's dunking all over the place because someone said it to him. You're not dunking enough, and he even said, "I remember the game I watched it where he was dunking. Like, where'd this come from?" And the announcer even said that Simmons said to them, "They're saying I'm not dunking."
I think the 76ers will go through the same kind of thing that the Timberwolves did for a couple of years, where the young guys get down to maturity.
I don't. I think that they're further ahead of the T-Wolves.
And Towns is better than Embiid, by the way. Also,
He's not. He's not. And we saw that last game. We saw that last game. First of all,
Towns' numbers were better than his.
he's the worst defender in the league, and I'll pull up the stats. Because Towns is the worst center in the league that starts in terms of defense.
You know what you're doing?
Did you watch the game? Did you watch the game when they played each other? It was like last week.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Not even, it was this week, and they won in double
It wasn't
overtime.
this week.
It was this week. The Sixers
No, it's
okay, so it was last week.
Yeah.
Okay, less than 7 days. In overtime, the Sixers won. I believe Towns fouled though. Someone fouled
Towns
out.
had 28
Towns
and
is
12.
Empty numbers. You don't like guys with empty numbers. We talked about that so many times.
He's won the game.
They did not win the game. Philly won the game. We need to get someone else to take it. Hold on. What we'll do is we're gonna finish up on the East anyways, because I think that we've pretty much touched on everything. Cleveland, we don't need to say anything about. We know they're probably gonna finish 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Boston, we know what they're doing. Shout out to Kyrie Irving, your boy. He's killing it. Some people didn't expect it without obviously Gordon Hayward.
I'm wondering how Hayward's going to come back and how he's going to look after him.
Well,
He's
that's
supposed to
next
come back in
year.
April.
He's not coming back.
Well, they're saying he might come back in April.
He wants to, but they
They
don't
won't.
want
But
him.
to me, when
For a lot
a
of
guy's
reasons.
leg ends up getting like mangled like that, the level that he comes
Look
back
at
at,
Paul
I'm
George.
surprised.
Look at Paul George. Paul George to me is still
Yeah.
pretty much the same guy, and I had doubts. These days, I'm not really worried about that.
I think George is more of a physical specimen, but sure. Okay. We'll see when he comes back.
Yeah. Anything else? Last things on the East? We
Yeah,
got?
when it's said and done, we're going to be on the show and we're going to say, I told you so. About Towns being better than him. I want that to be
That's fine.
documented.
That's fine.
But no,
Towns
that's
is
going to take
unbelievable.
that's going to take a few years, and to me, it's unfair because you've had a small sample size from because of his injuries. You don't really know. You can see what he's capable of, but he's got to be able to be doing it on a regulatory basis.
So I rate Embiid, don't get me wrong. I'm
Yeah,
rooting for Cousins.
If he
And
was
Embiid
fully
will-
healthy,
Embiid will fit if he's healthy, and he will be
Fully
easily top 5 defensive player of the year in the voting. No questions
the
asked.
problem is again is
And-
the injuries.
And you're a guy that's big on both sides of the game. Towns doesn't play defense.
Well, when this whole defense thing is when I remember when people used to say about Vince, he doesn't have defense. Because
Vince never tried.
But even now he's 40 and he's got.
He's playing better defense. I don't know about now, but he's playing better defense those Dallas days, those Memphis days. Better defense than he did
He
with
wasn't a
Memphis.
bad defender. He'd do bad like Harden. Harden would do bad defensive.
Not just not trying.
So-
So, same energy. Harden's got better.
So if you were to rate the Eastern Conference MVP right now, who would it be? Would it be?
I think it has to be-
Kyrie or
No, I give it to LeBron. I think it has to be LeBron.
If
No questions asked.
I don't think it's okay. I'm saying LeBron.
I knew you said that.
I'm saying if we're going by who's playing the best in the East to get MVP, I'd say LeBron right now.
And Kyrie, the first 10, 15 games when they won 15 in a row, whatever it was, Kyrie. But it's gonna be LeBron.
He was the best player on the best team, but even like I would give it to the Greek Freak or the first
Early,
10,
yes,
15
early,
games.
yes.
Yeah.
Because he has a lot of big
He went
numbers.
for
But
the-
You see
honestly,
how Isaiah comes back with a chip on his
to
shoulder.
me, it's just the MVP this year is going to be a 2-man race, I think, especially based on now between Harden and LeBron.
Mhm.
And Harden's been second place for, I want to say, 2 or 3 years now. He probably should have had
He
one.
probably should have won last year.
We're going to take a quick break right now on the Block Christmas special. We're going to get to the Christmas thing next. What we're going to do in this few minutes that we have, we're going to get Lamar to pull up Philly and Timberwolves. He's going to shame himself and let everybody know that the 76ers won that game. We come back, we're going to discuss the West quickly, talk about those Christmas games, but return on the block.
Alright, so look at that game.
I know that Towns did better than him.
It doesn't matter. You said who won the game.
That's true. But I also care about the stats.
Sixers versus.